Low maintenance landscaping. Well, you know what that adds up to. It means more relaxation in your own backyard. Linton's can create it for you. We've got some great news for you coming up. Stay tuned.
Bring the family and step into a magical world at Linton's Enchanted Gardens, a world full of color and inspiration. Beautiful ideas to transform your home both inside and out. Explore acres of displays to spark ideas for your home and garden, plus expert advice to help bring your ideas to life. Stop by and you'll see why we were voted the best home and garden center in Indiana, or check out lintons.com for ideas galore. Linton's Enchanted Gardens, County Road 17 in Elkhart. Just watch for the attraction signs.
Well, if you really have a sincere desire to create more leisure time in your own backyard, this is the show for you today. Mark Linton here with us on our program talking about outdoor design in the backyard. But Mark, before we get into that, I want to mention the fact that the fall frenzy is upon us at Linton's. Linton's Enchanted Gardens, County Road 17 in Elkhart, 50 to 90% off this weekend, today till 6 p.m., tomorrow to 6 as well at Linton's. Mark, this is a new construction in Goshen. I love this setting. It borders the Elkhart River, and talk about just a woodsy but yet nice and modern design. I love it.
It is one of the best kept secrets here in Elkhart County, and these folks, they really love the outdoors. They actually highly value the landscape. This week we're featuring the recently completed backyard landscaping. Earlier this season we were here landscaping the front, and they actually liked what we accomplished so well in the front that they had a choice whether to finish their basement or to finish the landscaping, and they actually chose to finish the landscaping all the way around the house. And we're starting here. We are on the back side of the house. We've got all the necessary evils, Craig. We've got the air conditioner, we've got the electric meter, we've got the gas meter, we've got a wellhead that we're hiding underneath this fiberglass boulder. All the ugly stuff was concentrated here on the back side of the house, and really the best place to put it, but we wanted to kind of hide and disguise it as well. And so that's why we brought in these ornamental grasses, and these grasses are maiden grasses, and they're going to begin to be about 5-6 feet tall at maturity. They'll do a good job of hiding all these utilities behind us.
Well, if you're looking to do something along these lines at your own home, the Linton's Landscape Design Team can help you out. You can go online and check out more about what we're talking about at lintons.com, or give Mark a call at Linton's Enchanted Gardens on County Road 17 in Elkhart. Well, this is a really great design, as the contour, if you follow it, goes all the way around, as you said, Mark, around the backyard and the side and then up to the front. But you must have had just a heyday back here with all the things going on.
It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of natural rolling terrain here. It's a big commitment for mowing a lawn, so the homeowner wanted to make sure that it was very easy to mow and maintain here. So some real graceful, gradual curves so they can stay on that riding lawnmower. We're featuring a lot of rare and unusual plants. The goal here was to kind of create this up north kind of woodsy natural look. Over here to your left, Craig, this is a dwarf weeping river birch, a very unusual miniature dwarf tree, slow growing. I love the exfoliating bark that you see there, that tan paper bark, and the best thing is it's totally disease resistant to the birch borer.
Is that right? So you're not going to have a problem ripping this thing out in a few months or a year or two?
Absolutely not. Extremely hardy. We've got some very natural looking gray owl jumpers for some fall and winter interest down around the base of the tree. And then earlier this summer, these gaillardias were in their full glory. They were in bloom with yellow and orange colored flowers, and these are perennials, low maintenance flowers that come back year after year.
Excellent. Again, we mentioned we're in a backyard of a home that borders the Elkhart River in Goshen. Lots of scenery on the outside, but you're creating scenery here for the homeowner, and we'll catch a little bit more of the scenery that will surprise people, but you got a nice little corner bend here going.
We do, and as we walk around the corner, Craig, the home transitions from 1-story to 2-story, and we've got this very unusual pine here. This is a weeping white pine, and I just love these pine cones that are on there. They will attract birds. The birds will come here. They'll provide some food for the birds during the winter time, and actually the young kids that reside here, they could do some art craft projects with those as well.
Yeah, it gives off a really great scent too, doesn't it?
Yes, I love that pine smell. Yep. And then in front of us, we've got some hydrangeas here. These hydrangeas have now been blooming for over 3 months, and they will continue to bloom all the way up until frost. A neat little ground cover plant here with some bright golden colored foliage, and we've planted that right smack next to the boulder. That's going to kind of grow and cluster around the boulder, and we've also taken our time. We've positioned the boulder so it looks very natural there and partially buried it into the bark ground cover.
Yeah, that's a dead giveaway when you see a little gap underneath. You got to really bury the thing, don't you?
You do. It takes a little extra effort or energy to do that, but it really makes it look like it was there naturally.
Yeah. Excellent. And that is a real boulder, by the way, folks. A real one, as opposed to one that maybe isn't so real that Mark likes to sneak in every once in a while to cover up utilities. What else, Mark?
Oh, Craig, behind me here, this is a forest pansy redbud. It's one of our native trees that actually has been developed to have more of a purplish color to the leaf. This will bloom with the bright purple-colored flowers during the springtime, and that's here just to kind of soften the side of the house, and they can look out their window in the springtime and be able to enjoy the flowers in bloom.
Very nice.
And since it's spring blooming, we've got summer blooming perennials here. Their goal was to attract both hummingbirds and butterflies. We've got these pincushion flowers here, which continue to bloom all throughout the summertime and are great hummingbird and butterfly magnets.
Okay, hummingbirds, butterflies. You told me before deer, and we even saw a blue heron here earlier.
That's right. And you know what? The deer are a challenge. And the homeowner has shared that the deer come right up here. They're not afraid. And so everything that we have here, number one, it had to be deer resistant. And we do know what the favorite plants are that the deer like to munch on, and they can create some challenges. But we are 100% deer proof here.
So it really gets back to the planning, doesn't it?
Extremely important. Otherwise could have a devastated landscape if you were uninformed.
That could be expensive. What else, Mark?
Oh, Craig, these are dwarf burning bush. We've got a large wall behind us, which we needed some height as well as some color. These are just starting to come into their glory. You can start seeing some change in the color of the leaves as we're starting to experience the cooler temperatures that the fall brings. And eventually we'd like to see these get to be about 6 feet in height, just to soften this large wall directly behind us.
You've got bark ground cover here, and we're going to transition here soon into something a lot different. But again, we talked about the scent. I kind of like the bark. Does anybody ever make comment of the fact that they like the smell of the bark?
You know what? There's folks that like bark, and there's folks that like stone. I'd say probably 75–80% of the time we're installing a bark ground cover. Stone certainly has its purpose and use. This is one unusual situation where we're doing a combination of both, and also like to share with the viewers kind of the thought process behind that and why we did that. And you'll be seeing that coming up here underneath the deck. Next to me is an unusual dogwood tree. This is a Chinese dogwood known as a Kusa dogwood. Blooms similar to our native dogwood trees. The only thing is that this is a summer blooming tree. And we are approaching their deck. We're out in the outdoor living areas, and those are outdoor living areas used during the summertime. We wanted to make sure we had some, exactly, you read my mind.
That's amazing. Not that you read my mind or I read yours, but to have something blooming really in the peak of the summer is really pretty important, I would think.
Then here around the boulder, we've got a cluster of 3 coneflowers. These are an unusual color, kind of a peachy orange, and just finishing up their bloom cycle. And now at this time of the year, actually like to leave the seed heads. It's fun to see the finch come in here. They actually will land on top of those expired flower heads, and they will sit there kind of picking away at those seed heads and get food out of there for them.
About that. Hey, any estimation how many plants, trees, and shrubs that you dropped in this backyard?
I have no idea.
A lot, huh?
There are quite a few, and actually worked together with the homeowner as a team. And actually, we did all the larger plantings, and we set up and delivered all the perennial flowers. And the homeowner actually enjoyed the connection with the dirt as she came out here and got her hands dirty.
You're all about that, aren't you? Making the homeowner a part of what's going on here. If it's from the planning stage to the finish work, it's important.
Well, she enjoyed it, and she did a really, really good job. Cool. We've got a nice selection here of coral bells, and they are prized for their beautiful different colorations in the leaves. They also will send up spikes of flowers earlier in the season, which also attract hummingbirds and butterflies. These grow in sun. They also tolerate shade. We've got kind of a transition here of the light conditions. They should be really, really happy. Another thing that we did was selected them because they stay low to the ground, and directly behind us you'll see a large bank of windows, and we've got this awesome, incredible view in the backyard, and really didn't want much obstruction for that view there.
Yeah, and actually this was considered a no-grow zone, Mark, where they didn't think, hey, anything would grow back here, but of course Linton's had another idea, right?
Yeah, under decks is always a challenging area, and a lot of folks tend to just pour some concrete and create a patio, but you know what? It's not the ideal environment. No one really wants to be sitting underneath a deck with tables and chairs. They either want to be up above or out in the yard, and so we decided to put this into landscaping, and of course we've got boulders and stone ground cover. Of course, that does well in the shade. Other things that we've got here is we've got a variety of ferns, which will do a nice job as they grow and mature to soften and kind of tone down the stone look. And when you're inside the house looking out, this was a rather dark area, and the stone gives it more of a lighter appearance. We've incorporated some dwarf yews in here, which will provide some fall and winter interest as the perennials hibernate for the winter time.
You know, I didn't even give it much thought about how this does lighten things up using the stone, but if you would have put bark back here, it would have been much darker.
Oh, definitely. And here in front of us, this is kind of the cherry on top of the sundae. This is a green Japanese lace leaf maple, and most of the time the ones that we're planting and growing have more of a red or burgundy colored leaf, but we wanted this back here, and actually the nice softness of the leaves, very delicate, fine, serrated leaves, ties in well with the ferns. This also tolerates the low light conditions, and we really didn't want anything that got too tall back here, and so a great choice for something that's slow growing and low maintenance.
You are not going to block this gorgeous view out into the Elkhart River. No way are you going to block it, but it's a great compliment.
And then out here, Craig, these are some unusual grasses. Most grasses require full sun. There's not a lot of choices for shaded areas, and this is one of my personal favorites. Almost looks like bamboo. It's a dwarf golden grass called Japanese forest grass, and I really like how it has kind of this soft weeping type of look. It's actually, as it grows and matures, it's rather mounding. We've got 3 of them positioned around this grouping of boulders here, again just to soften the look of the stones.
Excellent work. Excellent work. Well, we're giving you ideas, folks. Ideas that you can implement into your own backyard, side yard, or even front yard. And Lintons.com is the website, or you can give Mark a call at Linton's, available anytime to begin to strategically lay out a plan for you.
Very cool tree behind you, Craig, here. This was an opportunity. We had an opening in between this patio or landing here, the stairway, and the deck up above. This is a fern leaf buckthorn. Very unusual, fine, thin leaves. Blooms with little pink bell-shaped flowers. It's an excellent choice for this location because it's very columnar, very upright in its nature of growth. So something that we're going to be concerned about growing into the deck or the stairway or over the patio. Then we've planted some perennial flowers around here to provide some summer color. We've got black-eyed Susans, we've got cone flowers, and also like to step over here and share with the viewers, we've got a very unusual tree here, little dwarf tree.
Okay, as we move out from underneath the deck, which by the way is a beautiful deck. They did a great job with that.
This here is an unusual dwarf sumac. This is called a tiger eye sumac, and this will come into its glory into the fall, and it hasn't started to bloom yet, but we're going to see some spikes of bright red and orange colored flowers come up here, and when those bloom, a nice contrast up against this lime green and gold colored foliage here. This little tree is going to max out at about 5-6 feet in height, and really like just kind of the way the branch structure is, the trunk, kind of more rustic, a little bit more gnarly type of look, and fits in well with this woodsy natural theme that we've developed here.
Fairly hardy, is it?
Oh, incredibly hardy, low maintenance, and really for the next 10 years doesn't require any pruning.
Fantastic. Well, you like that. No pruning, hardly at all. And if you're enjoying a backyard, that's good news.
Another unusual ornamental grass here, this is called blue oat grass, and it's a dwarf grass reaching about 15-18 inches in height, prized for the beautiful light blue colored leaves, and gets little feathery plumes later on in this season. We've got a cluster of 3 of them which we planted around this native fieldstone boulder here.
All right, Mark, we've come around the corner of the home and now to the backyard. The concept here was practical yet really nice looking.
One of the challenges was this hillside here was very difficult to mow. We had a change in the terrain. We also have some trees that they had to work around. And the realization became is that from inside the house, looking out, this is quite the focal point here, as well as the river behind us. And so we came up with a plan that features spring blooming, summer blooming, fall interest, as well as some winter color as well. And all tied it in with that low maintenance concept.
Now, you say in the spring when the river rises, we might be standing in water right now, huh?
There is that possibility, depending upon how much it rains. And so we've got plants and perennials down here that temporarily can go underwater and should survive those conditions.
Well, lots of great ideas for you today. Landscape ideas from the landscaping pros at Linton's Enchanted Gardens. If you'd like to find out more, right now you can go online at lintons.com. And Mark, this is the perfect time of year to begin planting something such as this.
It is. The temperatures have dropped. There's less water requirements from the homeowner. And all of our plants, trees, and shrubs, we container grow them, so there's zero transplant shock.
Well, we're going to look at the plants, trees, and shrubs coming up in just a little bit. Mark, you've got a fall frenzy lying straight ahead, and that means super savings.
That's right, Craig. Our guests are going to be receiving 50 to 90% off.
Incredible. Well, we're going to get into that when we come back, so keep it right here. Stay tuned.
Step into a magical world at Linton's Enchanted Gardens. A world full of color and inspiration. Beautiful ideas to transform your home inside and out. Explore acres of displays to spark ideas for your own home and garden. Plus expert advice to help bring your ideas to life. Right now, save on graceful grasses, only $3.99. Visit Lintons.com for ideas galore. Linton's Enchanted Gardens, County Road 17 in Elkhart, between the 20 bypass and exit 96 off the toll road.
Well, welcome back to our program. As we mentioned just a little bit ago, fall frenzy is upon us here at Linton's Enchanted Gardens on County Road 17 in Elkhart. And Mark, we teased the folks a little bit about Fall Frenzy, but it is a frenzy, a free-for-all, 50 to 90% off. Come on, how can you do it?
It's a huge savings, Craig. Got a lot of beautiful plants, trees, shrubs here. Plants that will give you some color at this time of the year when other plants are starting to kind of lose their color in that. So I've got a nice selection here I'd like to share with our viewers.
Yeah, you betcha. Again, the frenzy going on this weekend, and of course hours until 6 Saturday and Sunday. A little breezy here, but we can deal with that, can't we?
We sure can. And this first flowering shrub here, this is a summer sweet, and very, very nice for its fall color. You start seeing some of these reds and burgundies and a little hint of pink here. Earlier in the season, it was blooming with clusters of very sweet, fragrant flowers. And this plant is 50% off. Going to save $12.50. You're going to be getting this 3 to 4 foot flowering shrub for only $12.49.
That is a fabulous deal. And now is the time, as you mentioned, potting, no problem. You've got containers here to relocate these plants, no shock, right?
Actually, zero transplant shock. It's a great time to be planting trees, shrubs, perennials.
Excellent. Excellent. What else, Mark?
Oh, next flowering shrub here is an Arctic Fire Dogwood, and we've selected this one here. This is really nice because of the bright red colored stems. Especially see that as it starts to lose its leaves in the fall, and beautiful red branches sticking up above the snow during the winter time. Very, very spectacular and colorful. And these are 50% off. I'm going to save $10 on sale for only $9.99.
Inventory is plenteous. You've got a lot, do you, for folks that want to come by?
Some of these we do have some pretty good numbers. Others we're getting really, really down, but once they're gone, they're gone. So
now's the time to shop Linton's.
And then, Craig, we've got viburnum here. Viburnums grow in full sun. They also tolerate shade, so a very, very adaptable, low-maintenance plant. Starting to take on some fall color here. You see kind of this copper and burgundy tones to the leaf. Actually getting a second bloom out of these, blooming with clusters of white flowers, and that's how they get their name, popcorn viburnum. And these are on sale, regularly $19.99, on sale for $9.99.
Another great bargain here at Linton's. If you'd like to check out more of what we're talking about at Linton's, lintons.com is the website.
One of my favorite ornamental grasses here, this is a big blue larapi. It is a flowering ornamental grass and still in bloom, will continue to bloom all throughout the fall season. Nice little dwarf grass, again, does well in full sun, also tolerates shade, and it's part of our sale, going to receive 50% savings. That plant is only $4.49.
You don't always see the flowering ornamental grasses, do you?
You know, most ornamental grasses do flower, but they don't have this type of color. It's more of a tan, kind of a feathery type of plume. A lot of times people say resembles like a foxtail.
Well, that's a neat look. I like that.
It is, and especially for those that have low light conditions, works out well in the shade garden.
Great. What else, Mark?
Oh, this is one of the old-fashioned favorites here. This is a dense yew. Nice size shrub here, normally $19.99. On sale, 50% off, $10 savings for $9.99.
And safe to say, low maintenance variety?
You know what? These are slow growing. If they're occasionally pruned, say like just simply once a year, you could keep these pruned down to about a 2 to 3 foot level for, say, the next 20 years.
Very good. Very good.
Craig, out here in front, this is one of our unusual butterfly bushes here in full bloom with these bright colored flowers attracting both hummingbirds and butterflies, as well as giving a nice scent or fragrance near a deck or patio. This is unusual because of the green and gold variegated foliage, and it's called a Santana butterfly. Going to receive 50% savings on that, $10 off, only $9.99.
And the great discounts continue through the weekend here at Linton's. The fall frenzy in full motion, Mark.
Craig, here in front of us, this is a flowering dogwood tree. This one happens to be a red flowering dogwood. This is about a 4.5 foot tall tree, planted now, and you will be enjoying beautiful, showy red flowers come springtime. Big savings on this, 50% off. This 4-foot tree is only $17.49.
How long does it take you to get a tree to get to this size, 4 feet?
You know what, we start out with some very, very small bare root trees. We pot them up. This is about a 4 to 5 year old tree here.
Very good. And a great price here this weekend.
And everyone's favorite here for the fall, we've got lots of mums. This happens to be an aster here. Asters provide a lot of great color during the fall months when the temperatures are starting to cool down. This one happens to be a purple dome aster. 50% savings, only $4.49 for this 1 gallon plant.
Very good, very good. A few more items here, Mark.
Yeah, I've got an unusual cypress here. This is called a temple off cypress. Very slow growing, only grows a fraction of an inch each year, so low maintenance. Grows in full sun, tolerates some shade. 50% savings, only $14.99.
You know, we've had some rain this week. Has that helped the plants, trees, and shrubs, Mark?
You know, they always appreciate the water, just like us.
Okay, good answer.
And then, Craig, up front and center here, this is a Sun Power hosta. It's an unusual hosta, bright golden colored leaves. Not only grows in shade, but will tolerate some sun as well. 50% savings, only $4.99.
Now, Mark, we've had both residential and commercial applications here on the show in the last few weeks. What we're talking about here would probably apply to either, right?
It does. Just need to make sure that you've got the proper plant for the proper location, and then you're not fighting it or battling it. And our knowledgeable staff here is very happy to help and coach our guests through that process and help them make the right decision.
It's all about planning, isn't it?
It is. It is. And we've got the knowledgeable staff that can help them.
Lintons.com, the website. Mark, a few more.
Oh, we've got a beautiful spirea here, still in bloom. This has been blooming all summer long. Gorgeous, bright colored flowers here. This is an Anthony Water spirea, 50% savings. Normally $19.99, on sale for $9.99 with our Fall Frenzy.
Fall Frenzy this weekend, today and tomorrow only, right here.
And then, Craig, here is an autumn fern, and it gets its name because in the fall it takes on this copper colored to the leaf. A nice plant for shaded conditions, very low maintenance. Part of our Fall Frenzy sale, going to save 50% off. That plant's only going to be $4.49.
I love the look of a fern. It just is really unique, isn't it, and different when you look at the other options?
Especially this one. It's got very beautiful leaves, and most people, when they think of ferns, they think of green leaves, and you don't just have all green leaves with this one.
There you go. Good point.
And then our last plant here, this is a very dwarf conifer, very slow growing. It's called a compact oriental spruce, and our guests are going to be receiving a 50% savings on that. This is normally $29.99, on sale for only $14.99.
It's all a part of the Fall Frenzy here at Linton's Enchanted Gardens on County Road 17 in Elkhart. Great location, somewhere midway between the 20 bypass mark, right, and the toll road, so you can't miss it. It's a destination, and I know your guests really consider it that. You have all kinds of things going on here, even this weekend for the family, don't you?
We do. We always have a lot of activities for the entire family, always a free petting zoo. Those animals love the attention, and we're always offering free popcorn as well as all these amazing sales.
People like the free popcorn, they like the petting zoo, but they like saving 50 to 90, and that's what you'll receive, a 50 to 90% off discount on the items you've been seeing here on the program today, right here at Linton's during the Fall Frenzy. Mark, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Craig.
For Mark Linton, our producer Gary Martin, this is Craig Wallen. Until next time, so long, everybody.